Welcome to Fieldsports Britain, coming to you this week from the CLA Game Fair 2011 at Blenheim Palace in front of our giant video screen. Coming up, birds of prey, Bernard Cribbins, an England rugby player, a German with a riflescope, the beating heart of the British gun trade, a Mantrap, and all the fun of the fair. Now, one of the things the Game Fair does is attract stars and celebrities. Here's an England rugby player being taught by a great British shot. James, have you been shooting for long?
I haven't actually. I've been shooting on and off for an extended period of time, but never consistently. So I'd probably say about a year in total, probably.
So we've got a world-class rugby player and a world-class shooter out there trying it out. What did you learn today? Yeah, well, I learned, obviously, he's pioneered a very simple technique. You know, it sounds simple. Obviously, where you look and where you move is where you're going to shoot. And just obviously getting my action a lot slicker, getting the gun starting down low and moving it in very slowly with 3 simple steps. And first play went up, I missed it. Everything else I managed to hit. It was literally just following his technique. So again, like in rugby, everything has a process. If you get the process right, you break it down. Hopefully the idea is it works in the end. You're doing great work endorsing shooting. You're also here to endorse Musto. You're part of their team. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for Musto. I've been an ambassador for 2 years now. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a fantastic clothing range. You know, they're synonymous with making great gear and great stuff for shooting. They've got every item you could possibly wish for, and also for someone my size, they fit the bigger gentleman.
You've got a huge wealth of shooting sports to choose from. What would you really like to do next?
I think you know, deer stalking is where I would like to go into. I haven't had an opportunity to do that because, you know, obviously with being with Musto, I've done a lot of game shooting, done a lot of clay pigeon shooting. But in terms of deer stalking, even though they've got the gear and the equipment for that, I just haven't had the opportunity to go away because you need to be a little bit committed to that. It's not ideal in the middle of training weeks to be sort of traipsing through a wood or up in the Scottish Highlands.
I mean, his first shot, he didn't really have much of a technique, but I showed him a simple method on how to do it, and he just picked it up and did it straight away and never missed another target. The thing is, you know, with someone who's got that ability to coordinate, it's very easy to teach, in all fairness, because it's all related really. Iron-hand coordination. When you hit the ball or kick the ball, you keep your eye on it. Catching the ball, you keep your eye on it. All you got to do is keep your eye on the target. A simple process and technique enables you to shoot. And James just did what he was told, basically, and got the result. Yeah, it's great.
One of the things the Game Fair does really well is provide a platform for launches. And we're on a superb platform here, the double-decker stand that is gunsonpegs.com at the top of Gunmakers Row. And I'm with James Horn of Guns on Pegs. James, you've just launched a shoot benchmarking survey. What is benchmarking?
Shoot benchmarking is about the performance of shoots, and what we wanted to analyse was how much money they're making or not, and we revealed that maybe 40% of shoots this year were actually making a loss. Quite a scary statistic. So what we wanted to do was dive into that and actually find out what returns that shoots were getting, what the average price is that they're charging, what their costs are, both fixed and variable, and then to see where the industry is going. And this is the second time where we've done it with Smiths-Gore, and we're absolutely delighted to see that some trends are starting to establish themselves, which I think are useful indicators for everybody within the shooting industry.
What are those trends?
The trends are, for example, the recovery rate. We've seen a reduction, largely down to the harsh winter that we've just had, with the very cold weather where we clearly lost birds. But perhaps what's really interesting, and I've enjoyed looking at, is the customer service aspect. Less shoots are now giving plus or minus 10% leeway on bird shot. More shoots are actually saying, we're not going to charge you any overage. You know, you come here for a day's shooting, and that's what we're going to deliver. And what we found in the survey, out of the top performing shoots, nearly all of them sold their days for the following season to repeat business. So this business is about smiling, happy faces, about people wanting to return to the shoot. So when you turn up at a shoot and then you're told at lunchtime, sorry, you shot the bag and you've got to go home, you're never going to go back. So, what we're really keen to do is start to see what's going on within the industry, and certainly the customer service side has changed dramatically.
As well as shooting, fishing takes up a great chunk of the estate's grounds. But forget a lazy afternoon on the riverbank. We stumble across a lesson in extreme casting, all in the name of a good cause.
There's a guy casting behind you. He doesn't seem to be catching anything. What's going on?
6 of us have been casting continually for the last 3 days in relays. We're setting a new world record for a team fly casting distance. We aim to do over 100 miles to actually create the record. At the moment we're up to about 126 miles, and Stevie Munn here is still going strong.
How's your casting arm?
Tired and taped.
The CLA may be the best of British, but some of our favourite international brands are here too. Plus their staff, allowing the punters to get even more of a flavour of the products on offer.
Well, the CLA is an important, almost international fair, I would say. And when I look around here, the place is packed with enthusiastic outdoors shooting and hunting people. So that's worthwhile to come here from Germany.
It's quite big on shopping. Have you noticed?
It's a lot of shopping, a lot of eating, wining and dining. Yes.
Now, if they were in the market, for example, to buy a rifle scope, have you got anything you're trying to sell at the moment?
Well, what I'm trying to do, and pretty successfully trying to do, is to sell the new Duralut rifle scope, now with an illuminated reticle that was launched in March this year at IWA show, and it was very well perceived here in the UK, due to the fact that it is an offering that's well designed, I believe, for the hunters and shooters here in the UK. It's reduced to the essence of a rifle scope. It does everything a rifle scope needs, but not more than that. So there are no specific special features like ballistic reticles, ballistic turrets, low-to-tech hydrophobic coatings and other things, no rail versions. It's reduced to the essence of a rifle scope. And that at a very reasonable price of a little less than £1,000 retail. That's what we call entry-level product. It's entry-level into the world of Carl Zeiss.
Yeah, I can see that. Herman, thank you so much. Thank you for coming from Germany. Now, it's not just shopping. This is also a place the organisations come to try and grab new members. We went to see one organisation which has got a very powerful way of stopping people from leaving the stand.
Right, we're about to try out a real Mantrap, and we have the finest boots to do it with. These are a pair of Hunter Wellingtons donated by Claire Zambuni. However, we're on the Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust stand, and Morag Walker has taken a look at these and decided the purple lining is so beautiful and matches her top so nicely that she's going to donate her own boots, and she'll be keeping these. Now, Morag, there is a serious side to having a Mantrap on your stand. You're not just trying to retain members.
No, I'm not. And the whole point is our national game bag census, which this year is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Basically, what we do is monitor the rise and fall of bird species and mammals that are not necessarily recorded elsewhere, and we can see whether their populations are going up or going down. So we do need more people to let us know about their bag records. It's all about the bag records. So if people would like to contribute to the National Game Bag Census and be part of history in the making, then we would love to hear from them.
It is all about history, and we're with Peter Carr, editor of Sporting Rifle. And you've used Mantraps on estates, haven't you, Peter?
Not at all, Charlie. No. But let's go back to the good old days when we were allowed to.
When were they used, these things?
In the 18th century, but I do believe they were banned in 1847, around that sort of time.
Was it? And why was that? Were people just so outraged that people were getting their legs chopped off in the countryside? Is that right?
Yeah, the maimings and the spring guns were also used, so there's a lot of guys shot, purchased shot and maimed thanks to the mantraps and spring guns.
What's a spring gun?
A spring gun is they basically set up a gun with a trigger system on it, so if you walk down a woodland ride and set the thing off, it'll shoot you in the guts or
So this mantrap was relatively humane. How do you set it?
It's very, very similar to a fen trap trigger system. The flat springs, like the old gin trap springs, are where the power are. The one that we've just used is quite weak because it's old. And just put a pedal over and the trigger, very, very simple, and obviously disguised with dry leaves and very effective. It's just a shame we can't use them nowadays.
Well, should we give one a go with our good friend Mike, the dummy gamekeeper? Should we give it a try?
Be great.
Why not?
Right. Now, the CLA Game Fair is not just a place for retail, it's not just a place for organisations to get new members, it's also a place to set the agenda for countryside issues for the year ahead. And one of those issues has been the monstering of gamekeepers and falconers by other wildlife organisations. I visited a quarry in Somerset. I can't reveal the location. The owners say that every year a pair of peregrines nest there, and the irises, the chicks, they say, are stolen every year by falconers. They're convinced about this. I'm with our falconry expert from Fieldsports Channel, Roy Lupton. Roy, are you a noted peregrine thief?
No. Surprisingly enough, we don't tend to need to take anything from the wild. We've got a very good breeding program within captivity where most or pretty much every falconry bird within this country is provided from.
Now, can you prove that you don't steal them? Because I mean, if I saw a peregrine, how would I know you hadn't stolen it?
No, most definitely. I mean, most of the birds, if our governing bodies have got problems with them, then they can come along and do DNA profiles and DNA tests on the adult birds and the chicks. And every chick that we produce has to be registered, so it's rung at around about 8-9 days old, and then is registered, and we go from there. So every peregrine that is bred in this country, and every peregrine that's bred in Europe, has a CITES certificate to prove its origins.
So why is it the RSPB say that falconers, gamekeepers, pigeon racers and egg collectors are the reason that peregrines in the wild have gone down to such low levels?
I think really the reason that they use that or that they blame us is to try and raise funds and use it just to try and prove that they're doing a good job and helping out the wildlife. Whereas in actual fact, we do lose, unfortunately, an awful lot of young falcons.
They're coming to get you.
Yeah, that's it. They're after me already. No, we lose up to 70% of young irises each year in the wild naturally. It's very easy for them to blame other people when, in actual fact, it's the natural die-off, unfortunately.
So that you reckon that's what happened with this lot?
I would have thought so. I mean, most birds fledge, and they're not necessarily going to stay around the eyrie for too long. They'll be off and learning to hunt and out there and searching for their food.
Roy is not alone in defending falconers.
The RSPB says that the four great evils afflicting British falcons, British birds, are gamekeepers, falconers, egg collectors and pigeon fanciers. Is that a fair assessment?
Was that 20 years ago you asked them that?
No, they're saying that now.
Right, well, I think you need to talk to somebody that's a bit more up to date in RSPB, because from the falconry point of view, we have over the last 35 years domesticated all the species we want. Our peregrine population in captivity is almost as big as the population in the wilds. If you want a peregrine, you can buy one. It'll be with you by the evening, legal, all done and dusted. Why go and do something illegal? You don't need to.
A lot of this fair is about shopping, and not girl shopping, boy shopping. I'm at the Oxford Gun Company stand to meet a doyen of the British gun trade, Doug Florent. So it's not very popular this year, is it?
We have been absolutely heaving this morning. It's amazing the amount of guns that we've actually sold, and good quality stuff as well. And I think every other dealer is exactly the same. Everybody's so surprised how busy we've been.
What are people buying?
Best qualities. And anything that is good and nice is selling. Cheap stuff, not really so much, but the best quality, we sold a lot of English stuff as well, and best quality guns are definitely what people are looking for this year.
And who are buying? Don't say shooters.
Everybody, ladies, gentlemen, game guns, more game shooters than clay shooters. That's really where the market is at the moment.
Well, look, Francis Loveland's over there. Should we pop in and have a chat?
By all means, yeah.
So Atkin Grant and Lang, is that owned by Francis?
Yes, it's nice to see that Atkin Grant Lang has just been bought by Francis Lovell to just try and keep it going. And what is nice to see is that he's decided that they're going to keep up the quality of the guns that were built by these famous makers.
Okay, which explains all these gunsmiths just here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
He's not going to make hundreds of guns, he's going to make a few very high quality guns each year.
Is that the way that this end of the gun trade is going?
Yeah, I think it needs to go forward. A lot of people now are starting to get involved in bringing in Spanish guns and putting their names on them and charging a lot of money for them. If you want to buy a Spanish gun, buy a Spanish gun. Or if you want to buy an English name, you buy a best quality gun.
Now, one of the things you were doing earlier on, Doug, was bad-mouthing Spanish guns. Is that true?
No, I wasn't bad-mouthing Spanish guns in any way whatsoever.
Here's Edward to ask. He must be not an old friend of yours because he imports Spanish guns.
I'm a very old friend.
Very old.
As a matter of fact.
In
well,
fact,
the rest of the old.
The comment that I was making about people importing Spanish guns and putting English names on them and implying that they're much better than they really are.
And does that apply to you?
No.
No.
It doesn't. No, because AYA make AYAs for AYA and that's it. We don't. We're a bit like Nescafe. We don't make guns. We don't make guns for other people to put their names on.
AYA is one of the best-known gun brands. Do people actually think it's an English brand?
It's interesting. No, we've always made a point of saying that AYA is the logical alternative to the English gun, and it seems to have, by osmosis, become implanted in people's minds that actually it's the closest thing you can get. And in that respect, we've been successful.
Can I make a comment? Edward is maybe too young to remember this, but when ASI first started importing AYAs, they realised that the quality of the Spanish workmanship was excellent at the AYA factory, but they weren't quite making guns the way they would like to be made in England. So the brilliant move that was made by Edward's predecessor was that he sent 2 English gunsmiths to the Spanish factory to work with the Spanish gun makers to show them how to make guns in the English way. And that is why, I know this is before your time, and you won't remember.
But I do know the story, absolutely
and
right.
What happened was that this is where the advert originally came from, sort of made in the English tradition.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough, after one of them came back, when the gunsmiths then came and worked for me for a year at our shop in London. So that's how I know the story and why the quality of AYA is so good, because it's made in the English tradition.
Brilliant.
Sorry to butt in there.
Not at all. Not at all. You tell it exactly how it is, and better than I could. So.
That's the trouble with doyens of the gun trade. They're always taking the stage, aren't they? The trouble with the gun trade, though, is it's not very good at marketing itself. What are you going to do about that?
Well, we've given this a lot of thought, and we decided that one of the first things we should do is have some pipes music in the shop. Another idea that we've come up with is we felt that it might be a good idea to improve the image of the staff, thereby bringing more people into the shop. And one of the things that last things we've decided to do is just make a little bit more noise to attract people's attention.
That's the big bangs done. The Oxford Gun Company also grabbed the attention of passers-by with these small digital bangs from its simulated bird shooting range. And there was a prize. prize for the top shot.
Congratulations, the 2011 shooting simulator stand on the Oxford Gun Company's CLA Game Fair stand as won by Perry Littleford with a grand total score of 25,600. Congratulations.
Thank you. Lots of you entered the Trans Canine Dog Box competition winner dog box for a shaggy dog story. Let's go and pick a winner. And the nominations are, well, first we have Anthony Blackwood and Bryn. Anthony moved from Wigan to South Wales where he got into shooting and Bryn is his first dog. Next it's Dave Tiddy with his 5-year-old chocolate lab bitch Caddy. He's from South Wales too, where he says he never ever shoots grouse. Honest. Gary Moore took Thistle out with one of his Harris hawks after rabbits. Even when the bird decided to have a bath in the stream, Thistle kept on working. Stéphane Francois sent us this picture of his English Springer Spaniel. Ed Hooper from Cornwall has a Springer, Wrighton Jenner, who has moved with him to California. Leszek Kaminski says his Springer Spaniel James is his childhood dream dog. Springers are rare in Poland where he lives, and he says James is versatile enough to go bird shooting with him, horse shooting and even surfing. A. Darlison's Springer Spaniel Jazz caught a healthy flying crow. Here's Jazz with a more mundane dead pheasant. Graham Patterson has this picture of Storm hanging in his lounge, where it attracts admiring comments from guests. Storm is here in the middle of a superb retrieve. Dave Willard's 3-year-old cocker Suki is retrieving a duck mallard. Sukes never fails to bring game home, no matter how big it is. Toby Reed's Border Terrier pup Buddy is enjoying a training session at an artificial earth in Norway with the help of the Norwegian Terrier Club. Buddy is making fantastic progress and will be used in anger on wild foxes this coming winter. Phil Singleton sent in these pictures of dogs that he has taken. Nick Ship's 2-year-old Labrador Diesel is pictured retrieving a partridge on his first day out in the shooting field. I was so proud of him, says Nick. This is 8-month-old Cocker Jess after a day's training with her owner David Hall. She is saying, "Bring my food." Susan and Paul Mass own Deep Fleet Tinkerbell, a 2.5-year-old Cocker Spaniel. Here is Tinks on the last day of the season at Claybrook Magna in Leicestershire, and here she is during the summer months residing with Paul and Susan in France. This is Molly, Adrian Wilkins' pride and joy. She's a 3-year-old English Springer and she is pictured on a peg just as the pheasants are starting to leave cover. Angela Major Pellerin lives in the USA with her German short-haired pointer Nike. Angela grew up with her dad and brothers duck shooting over Labradors, but she says GSPs offer a new world of both upland game hunting as well as waterwork, obedience, agility and breed ring evaluation for structure, type and movement. What is a day simulated pheasant shooting without a mad Springer? Here is Rodney Ludgate's faithful servant Baldrick. All of these dogs captured the imagination of the judges, but which one won? Now it's over to Robert Marshall of Trans Canine.
We've had a lot of entries which we're really pleased about, but in my mind there was one entry that actually shone through for me, which was an entry by Mr. Graham Patterson with his dog Storm. It's a Labrador Retriever doing a fantastic retrieve over a fence, and it's really just emulating what Labradors do best, you know, and it was just superb. But we had lots of other entries. It was really difficult for us to choose, but our winner is Mr. Graham Patterson with Storm. Congratulations, and your dog box will be on the way.
The crowds are thinning out. It's reaching the end of the day. People are looking tired. Here's Bernard Cribbins, star of film and television, to tell us about his game fair. Now, you're well known for fishing, you're well known as a shooter, you're the grandfather of country sports, is that fair?
Well, I'm not actually a grandfather, but that's quite a nice title, I like that, yes. Makes me sound a bit like, I don't know, who, yes.
Uncle Bulgaria?
Wentworth Day and all those.
Wentworth Day, isn't it?
Yes, all the heavyweights, yeah. No, I love coming here and see a lot of old friends. I went over and saw John Bidwell this morning, who tells me he won a competition and came third in the World Championships the other day. Got a bronze, cheeky thing. Yes. I actually beat him on one stand a long time ago up at, I don't know, somewhere near London, I can't remember. And I think he let me beat him, which was quite nice of him. He's looking good.
A show like this, it seems to be bigger, more colourful, brighter. Is it true to its roots?
I think it is, yes. I think it is, because everybody here wants to be here. They're either interested in dogs or shooting or fishing or they come to eat the food or something, you know. And everybody seems to smile. I haven't seen any grotty faces. Everybody's having a good time, and thank goodness the weather's doing what it is. No, it's a splendid event, and I do look forward to it every year. Although by the time you've done it a day and a half, you think, what am I doing? I'm knackered. You know, look at all the people. And it's quiet today, isn't it? Being Sunday, the last day. It's actually quiet. Saturday was heaving. Absolutely.
It's been a celebration of British countryside like no other. And let's talk to a great British company about how it was for them. Keith, JCB, how did you get on at this year's CLA Game Fair?
Charlie, it's been an excellent show for us. It's a very important industry, and the Game Fair is the pinnacle of the exhibition season for us, especially with this new range of UTVs we have.
Got a lot of gamekeepers buying them?
Yes, indeed. It's an important product for the gamekeeping industry.
And this particular one, the red, white and blue model?
It's proven very, very popular as a British-built machine, and we've even had bids for people to take it away from the show.
Well, we're back next week. This has been Fieldsports Britain. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button or go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. Scroll down, you can put your email address in the constant contact form at the bottom. You can follow us on Twitter, you can like us on Facebook. And one thing that happens here, 150,000 people come in the daytime, but 5,000 of us stay here at night. I'm off to paint the town red, white and blue.